Hello, good evening, everybody. I hope everyone's doing really well. It's been a while since we've had one of our talks, but I am really excited to have this one. It is quite important to the health and the comfort of all our pets. Whether they are dogs, cats, reptiles, birds, rabbits, rodents, any of them, because and this is something that is very preventable again, if we do things right. And it's something that will really help us. All right, so I will just get on to it. Okay, so what we're talking about today is obesity in our pets. Okay, so number one, what is obesity? Broadly, usually it's classified as a condition when here we're talking about pets, okay, not humans. So in our pets, when they are about 15 to 20% above what their normal weight should be. Okay, so normal weights are something that have been researched. There are many published papers. There are weight ranges depending on which animal, which breed it is, which species. So there are many weight ranges that are given, but again those are also variable. Weight is not and the exact thing that will tell you whether your pet is obese or not. There is another scale that we use, which is called the body condition score, which actually tells us whether the animal is within its healthy region, or whether it's overweight or extremely underweight. So a body condition score is something that is more accurate than the weight, because again dogs, cats, birds, turtles, they come in different shapes and sizes. So it's difficult for us to have, like, okay, your dog has to be this weight. But yes, there are certain weight ranges that have been given for different breeds, for different species of reptiles, for different species of birds. So that is also something that we use to know whether they are underweight, overweight, or just the right weight. Okay, so that is something that is important. Now, broadly speaking, okay, why does obesity occur? Why do animals get overweight? Okay, like a lot of people think, okay, but they would know how much they need to eat, right? Like in the wild, no one's going to tell them how much they need to eat. So we just put the food in front of them and they'll just eat how much ever they want, because they know what's good for them and what's not. Okay, so number one, this is absolutely wrong. Okay, animals will eat as much as you give them. And also another thing, they are not in their natural environment. Okay, you are keeping them at home, so there is nothing natural about it really. So they are not following any of their natural instincts. So you can't expect them to know what they would do in the wild. They wouldn't do the same thing at home, because obviously the conditions, their environment is completely different. So we as pet owners have to be more responsible when we feed, about what to feed, how much to feed. Okay, another very important thing that we need to do is exercise. Okay, they do need exercise. Every single animal or bird, reptile needs exercise. So they need to walk around, they need to play, they need enrichment. These are things that not only help on a physical level, but of course on a mental level as well. Okay, so now again we'll come back to what causes obesity. Why do these pets get obese? So they get obese because, very simply put, the amount of calories that they are intaking is not is way more than what their output is. Okay, so if I am eating, say, a vada pav every day, so a vada pav has x number of calories, but for me to actually burn off that vada pav, I would probably need to work out for 2 hours to burn off that many calories. So it's very similar. It's very similar to that. So if your dog or cat or bird, reptile, or your hamster, your rabbit, your guinea pig is eating way more than it's actually burning, because again, these animals are pets. They have a very sedentary life as compared to the ones that live outside in the wild, so they do not get that much exercise. So what we need to do is control their calorie intake, or give them healthier food in order to keep them healthy, okay, in order to keep them at that correct weight. Now for dogs and cats, how would you tell whether they are fit, whether they are underweight, or whether they're overweight? Okay, so a very very simple thing that you can do is look at your dog or cat from above. Okay, so that this is their back. You look at them from above and you should be able to see their waist. Okay, so this is very simple. It's like, you know, how we want women to look. So you see a waist, so behind their ribs there should be a visible waistline. Okay, it shouldn't just be a straight line. There has to be a curve at the waist. And when you touch the ribs, you should be able to feel these ribs. Okay, there should be just a short a thin layer of fat around these ribs, and you should be actually able to feel the ribs. Okay, a lot of people are used to seeing overweight pets or overweight dogs and cats, and they feel like the healthier ones look skinny or they're underweight. Okay, so that's not true. You really need to reassess how you're looking at them. Okay, another thing that you can see in dogs and cats is their bellies. Okay, in dogs the belly should have a curve, like it should be concave. Okay, like their chest, and the belly should be concave. That's a really really good and healthy and a fit dog. Okay, and in cats also they should be they do have some belly fat, but of course that belly should not be sagging or touching the floor. Okay, so you have to be very very careful about that. All right, so dogs and cats that are middle-aged, okay, that are like above the age of 2 years, in some dogs above 5 years, are more prone to obesity. Okay, because now when they're puppies or kittens, their BMRs, their metabolic rates are way way higher than when they get older. So which is why you also need to be very careful about the food that you're feeding them. Like if you feed puppy food to a cat that is 2 years old, I'm sorry, kitten food to a cat that is 2 years old, obviously the energy requirements, the number of calories that are there, you know, in 100 grams of that food is very different from what the calories are in 100 grams of adult cat food. So you need to measure the amount of food you're feeding them and feed them the correct food for the correct age. Okay, for their age bracket. Okay, so because their energy requirements are very very different when it comes to their sorry about that. Okay, so a puppy would obviously be a lot more active than an adult dog, and also burn a lot more calories running around, and also they are growing, so obviously they are using up more energy as they grow, so they obviously need a higher calorie intake. So puppies would normally eat 4 to 5 times a day. Okay, but an adult dog sometimes would eat only once a day or twice a day, which is all right. Okay, you do not need to force them to eat more. Don't make them greedy. There are a lot of dogs that are greedy and will eat anything that you give them. So please stick to the right amount of food that they need. Okay, so usually when you buy a good quality dog food, behind that there's a chart just behind the packet. So depending on the weight of your dog, it tells you how in grams what you should feed your dog. So suppose my dog is a 20 kilo dog, and it says I need to feed him 250 grams. Now that 250 grams is in the entire day. Okay, that's not one meal. Obviously if your dog is eating only one meal, that will be one meal, but ideally I would divide that into 2 meals. Okay, so that chart is a daily chart. Okay, it doesn't tell you how much to give per meal. It is a daily chart, so follow that chart, and those values are the exact intake of calories that your dog needs. Okay, dog or cat. So that is how we can control it with food. Now now when it comes to birds, okay, why do birds get obese? Again, it's the same thing. It's because they are fed an incorrect diet. A lot of birds are primarily on a seed based diet. Now if you just feed your birds seeds, it's it's just fats. It lacks in a lot of vitamins and minerals. Okay, so seeds are only 10% of their diet actually. Okay, for birds it's only 10% of their diet, so a seed based diet is absolutely incorrect for any bird. So and they need to forage. All right, a bird will eat throughout the day, but of course they also spend a lot of time searching for their food. So in the wild, most of their energy, most of their calories are burnt while searching for food, for searching for mates, playing with their mates, playing with their families. So playing with, moving around, climbing on branches, flying takes burns a huge amount of calories. So these are things that birds in the wild do, which a lot of them at home don't do. And in a lot of cases they're eating so much seed, it's just fat, and which is why a lot of birds are obese. Okay, and a home diet, which is roti, chapati, etc., is just absolutely a big no for birds. Okay, so none of that for your birds. And I am coming to turtles soon. Okay, so yes, reptiles also um, tend to get very obese, especially I've seen it in red-eared sliders, because they will also eat anything that you give them and as much as you give them. Okay, and in a lot of cases these turtles are kept in tubs. They don't have proper tanks to swim in, so they're not getting enough exercise. They're not swimming at all. They are pretty much sitting the entire day in a small tub, or they're walking around the house. Really, that's not what red-eared sliders do. They swim, they need water. So for them, so as they are growing, okay, when they're really tiny, of course they will eat more. So like we've spoken about their entire diet in in a previous talk. So if anyone wants to see that, it is in our previous IGTV talks. You could go through that. So by the like they grow till they're about 5-6 years old. Okay, so that is when they need a higher protein content in their diet, or a higher calorie intake. So turtle food, chicken, fish, etc. But as they grow older, and as they've reached their full growth, like when they're mature, they do not even need to eat every day. Okay, reptiles as they get older do not eat every day. They do not need 2-3 meals every day. It is fine if they're eating once a day, or if they're eating every alternate days. The much older ones will eat as less as once a week. Okay, because they do not need the excess calories, the excess protein that is given to them. Okay, and they shift to a more herbivorous diet, so they eat a lot more vegetables and fibrous vegetables. Okay, so even when you're feeding your animals, make sure the kind of food that you're giving them, especially when it's fresh, like if you're giving them carrots, of course carrots are very sugary, they're high in sugars, so yes, they do have a higher calorie content. So once in a while, yes, carrots are great. Fibrous veggies, green leafy vegetables are perfect. Okay, they have a low calorie content. They have great fiber. Okay, it's a great roughage. So they're great in vitamins. All right, so these are the foods that you should be giving your turtles. Okay, so I'm just gonna address this really quickly. So your turtle doesn't eat veg, but it has to. You will have to shift it to a vegetarian diet depending on its age. okay, because it does not need that excess protein, because that excess protein is going to affect its kidneys eventually. So you will have to keep trying until it actually starts eating a vegetarian diet. Okay. All right, now let me just quickly recenter myself. Alright, so we've spoken about birds, we've spoken about turtles. Let's talk about rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters. These guys are also very, very prone to obesity. Again, it's the same principle. They're not getting enough exercise, they're eating way too much, they're eating the wrong kind of food. Okay, rabbits, guinea pigs, 80% of their diet has to be hay when they're older. Okay, as soon as they are mature, like after a year, they need hay as their diet. They're not babies, they are not growing anymore, so they do not need the other things. So uh, or a high protein diet like alpha hay. But timothy hay and other hays that are available is 80% of their diet. Okay, fresh vegetables, yes, great. Green leafies, great. Okay, those are have to be part of it. Now carrots, again, carrots, sweet fruits, apples, bananas, etc. have to be probably given once or twice a week as a treat. Okay, and pellets have to be measured. Pellets have to be measured when you give it to them. So you can't just leave the pellets there the entire day and let them eat how much ever they want, because they are going to gain weight, they are going to get obese, and it's going to cause, we're going to come to all the problems that obesity leads to in these animals. Okay, so a diet and exercise is extremely important when it comes to your pets. Okay, they cannot live a sedentary life like we humans are living, to be honest. It leads to a lot of problems, which again is in our hands, okay, to control. Now how do you know whether a turtle is fat? So a turtle is, you can see it's kind of fat, kind of oozing from its shell. Okay, it's very easily seen. You can see it's like the sides are kind of coming out of the shell. You can see that the turtle can't fit in its own shell. Okay, so that is one of the telltale signs that your turtle is obese. It's not able to pull its legs and its head together into the shell because there is no space because of all the fat around the neck. So that is another telltale sign. Okay, and so now what happens if your pet is overweight, if your dog is overweight? Now the problems related to obesity are the same in every animal. Okay, what happens when, for that matter, even humans, what happens when there is excessive fat in the body? So so what happens is, again, they are predisposed to heart disease. Okay, a lot of birds do very easily get heart conditions like atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is when there are fat deposits in your major arteries, and that can lead to heart failure. Okay, it can lead to early death. So heart disease is one of the major concerns when it comes to any obese pet. Another issue is fatty liver. Okay, there is deposition of fat around the liver. It's also called hepatic lipidosis, which will lead to liver problems. Okay, another is they have breathing problems. Now a lot of pugs, these breeds are very, very predisposed to obesity, and they are also predisposed to breathing issues. So respiratory problems is a huge problem when it comes to obesity, because there is just so much fat that is around the chest, around the neck, around the trachea, that it's very difficult for them to breathe. Okay, so that breathing issues are another problem. Arthritis. Okay, as your pets get old, they do develop joint problems, and obesity is one of the leading causes of there is excessive pressure on the joints. It's going to be extremely painful for them. Okay, so arthritis, osteoarthritis is another problem that happens when you are when your pets are obese. Okay, now they also, it reduces their immunity. Okay, it reduces their immune response. Now if your pet ever needs to undergo surgery and they are obese, even if it's a life-saving surgery, the anesthesia is going to be at a higher risk. Your anesthetic risk increases tenfold when your pet is obese. Okay, so you don't want to go there. Okay, another very important issue, another very important condition is diabetes. Okay, and yes, birds, rabbits, dogs, cats, they are all prone to diabetes if they are obese. So please be very very careful about what you're feeding them. Okay, that's why obesity needs to be controlled in your pets. All right. Have I missed anything? Yes, high blood pressure. Again, these are all human problems. In birds and reptiles, they are more prone to egg binding, which means they cannot lay their eggs properly. The eggs kind of get stuck inside the reproductive tract, and that can be a life-threatening condition. Okay, so egg binding is another problem that occurs if your pet is obese. They are more prone to certain fat-related tumors or cancers. Okay, like lipomas, like you have xanthomas. These tumors are they're at a higher risk if they're at a higher risk of getting them if they are obese. All right. Again, for rabbits, guinea pigs, they have a condition called pododermatitis, which is when they keep putting excessive pressure on their feet, they will develop pressure sores on their feet or on their elbows, on their knees, so to say, their knees. Okay, so pododermatitis happens in rabbits. Also, they are unable to clean themselves. They can't, they normally eat the cecotrophs, which is the good stool that comes out of rabbits, and they eat it because it gives them vitamins and minerals. They now, when they're too fat, they're not going to be able to reach it. So there'll be a lot of cecal smearing, basically a lot of poop stuck to their butts. And also, if the fat fold will kind of block the anal opening as well, so that is another problem. Of course, it's going to affect their digestion, it's going to affect their health, in a major way. In rabbits, we also see bladder sludge. So bladder sludge is basically like debris inside the bladder. Okay, that happens in obese rabbits because there's so much fat and there is a lot of pressure on the bladder as well. So there's a lot of deposits that take place from the urine, and that deposit just stays in the bladder. All right, and that can lead to major urinary tract infections or major stone formation in the bladder. Okay, and that can again be an emergency then. All right, we spoke about fatty liver, and yeah, so these are some of the major things that happen when your pet is obese. Okay, I'm gonna quickly take this question: what exercise should a turtle do? Your turtle needs to swim. Okay, turtles need to swim if it is a turtle. Okay, not a tortoise. A tortoise is not supposed to be in water, so you need to know whether it's a turtle or a tortoise first. So yes, turtles need a tank to swim in. They need proper exercise, they need to swim, they need to chase after their food, which is why in certain turtles we ask them to get feeder fish so that they can chase them around the tank and eat the fish. Obviously, overfeeding, you need to reduce, you need to calculate how much you're feeding them, which is extremely important. And if you want an exact quantity, of course you need to speak to your vet, because they can tell you from the weight and size of your pet how much it should be eating. Okay, so for pet owners, for dog owners, you need to really get out more with your dog and walk a lot more if your dog isn't getting enough exercise. Okay, so that is something that is extremely important. All animals need that enrichment, they need to play. Don't constantly associate your relationship with your pet with food. Okay, associate it with play, associate it with exercise, with fun. that is something that is so important for our pets. Okay, it's not just um, oh hi, I'm just gonna give you your food, you're so good, I'm gonna give you a treat. No, we want to play, we want to go out. Okay, even birds need out of cage time, they need to fly. Now again, flying, we when we trim birds, when we trim their feathers, it's so that they can't fly very high, it's so that they can't fly out of windows. It's not so that, okay, it's not because so that they can't fly at all. We want them to fly, they need that exercise to keep their muscles healthy. Okay, so this is something that is so important. Okay, exercise. Speak to your vet about what is the best exercise for your pets. Okay, control what you're feeding them. Food is not something that you build your relationship on. All right, so I think we've covered the basics of pet obesity. um, the main points that we've got out of this is, of course, overfeeding is one of the main causes of obesity. Lack of exercise, a sedentary life. Okay, no animal is supposed to just constantly sit in one place, sit in a cage, sit in a tub, okay, or just sit in some part of the house. They need exercise, they need to be out, they need to play. They spend a lot of their time, generally if they were in the wild, they would be running around, they would be foraging for food, they would be playing with other animals. Okay, so you are their family, you are their playmates, you are the ones providing the food. So provide them the best that you can. Do what is right by them. All right, and yeah, let's it's going to prevent at least 80% of your health problems. All right, if you have a good diet and have a good exercise regime for them, and also you give them enough enrichment, it makes a huge difference to their lives. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, please ask away. I will be posting this video on IGTV and YouTube and Facebook as well. So if you watch the video later, you feel free to ask questions in the comments or DM me. Okay, so I think we've covered all there is to say about pet obesity for now. Okay, do let me know what you thought of the video, and if you think that I might have missed out something, I will definitely talk about it. If you have any specific questions. All right, so take care everybody, and see you soon. I'll come back with another topic. If you have anything you want me to talk about, please let me know, and I will set up a session for that. So thank you everybody, good evening, and bye bye.